Hey, what's up everybody? It's about 3:07 on this Thursday, if you will, August 23rd, 2 days before my mom's birthday. And today I was sitting down around 1:30 or something like that, enjoying a nice little deli sandwich that my mom bought me. Not a sub sandwich, but deli sandwich, lettuce, meat and all that, and cheese. And not much was on. Usually there might be a baseball game on because it's, because of such and all that or something like that. Or because it's a 4-game series. But not much was really on. And I checked the movies and everything, Encore, Stars, and HBO, not really anything. And I decided, I'll just watch the CN. Because CN, despite how people feel about it nowadays, still does have some interesting stuff. So I sat down and watched a bit of the CN, the Cartoon Network, and I was watching an hour's worth. They had, basically the last half hour of an hour's worth of Looney Tunes, classic Looney Tunes, not the Looney Tunes show, but classic Looney Tunes. And then after that, they had the episode Web of the Dreamweaver of this current season from Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. Now, I looked this episode up and everything online. I kind of looked up the current season and everything, see how far it's progressing. And I heard that Daphne had come back and everything. And, I thought, I heard she had was back or something like that, but I wasn't really sure if all the characters were back because it was a permanent deal. So I watched it. I'm sitting down and I'm watching it. And they have a different intro because I guess they were playing off the fact that Daphne wasn't part of the team anymore. And they had this character called Hot Dog Water, or whatever her real name is. Marcy, I think. Well, anyway, I'm watching it. I'm watching the episode. And I thought it was pretty good. So I go online recently to look up some of the other episodes, because apparently I had missed a lot of the episodes too recently on my niece's 20th birthday, which was Friday. I missed the latest episode, which I guess is the end of the first half to the current season. But that brings me up to my discussion. And it's right up there. It says, why are the second or third seasons better than the first? Basically, why are the following seasons, and I'll probably put that instead, better than the first? Well, here's the reason. In my opinion, here's the reason. The reason I believe, in my honest opinion, why the first season isn't as good as the following seasons is because usually with any kind of show, whether it's an hour-long mystery, crime drama show, whatever, whether it's a half-hour sitcom, whether it's or in this case, whether it's a half-hour animated show, the reason the first season isn't always as good in some cases is because it's more like an introductory season to what the story and the plot is all about. And there's many examples out there of this. I mean, I remember with the first season of Sonic the Hedgehog's Sat AM, not many people were into it. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I should say a lot of people were into it, but it wasn't as good as the following season. The reason being, the first season was introductory. Yes, it introduced you to what what they were about, who the characters were, what the mission was, and basically it gave you the feeling and gave you the idea that things weren't as friendly and funny and lighthearted as usually you would see with cartoon adaptations of any kind of franchise, like say video games and such. So to me, I looked at it and I said, this is really interesting. So I looked at that, and then when the second season came out, that's when things really started to pick up. Yeah, there were some low points. Some people will say that you had the animated shorts, you could take those out, and nothing. The episodes where you had 2 11-minute shorts, you could take those out, and nothing would be affected, and that is true. But you see, the reason again But you see, the reason the second season was good was because the first season was just introductory. That's all it was. Yeah, the second season had a bit of follow-up on some things, like with Uncle Chuck and things like that. But overall, the reason the second season of Sonic was good was because the first was introductory. The same can go with Mystery Incorporated. You know, it's more the fact that the first season was good from what I understand, from what people have said, it's good. But it was more like an introductory. It was giving you more of an idea of what this show, what this version of Scooby-Doo was about. Gave you the idea that it was kind of like a teenage junior novel. Because every episode was like a chapter. And then as soon as we got into the current season, second season, if you will, here in the States, as soon as we got into that season, things started to really pick up. And usually, sometimes they do pick up in the final episode of the first season because it gives you an idea that the second season's really going to take it up a notch. And this season, obviously, from what I've understood, has done just that. Now, I just looked online to see the last episode, which was originally broadcast on the 17th here in the States. And apparently, according to some people, you look at the comment section in one of the video sites I found it at, and they have said it's really starting to pick up. It's really starting to get good. Yeah, they don't like. Yeah, and there are some people that have said they don't like the idea of where certain things are going because it doesn't seem right. But again, it's all about the fact that the second season has lived up to what the finale of season one has hinted at it was going to do. It's picked it up a notch. It's picked it up, taking it to that next level. You take a look at Transformers, one of the most popular shows of all time, Generation 1. And the first season was basically an introductory season. We all know that. Some people didn't, it was good and everything, but it was more introductory. You got into the second season, you got into the season after the movie, you got into the final season, which was only 4 episodes, if you will, or 3 episodes. And it really picked it up a notch. It really started to pick up. Things were seen on a bigger, more broader scale. Things were based, everything was, the action, the stories, everything were taken up a notch. And that's what people liked about it. They liked it, and that's why people preferred the second season onward, along with the third and the fourth, a lot better because it picked it up a notch. It did things, it took things to levels and areas you wouldn't expect. The same with, let's say, G.I. Joe and Gem. G.I. Joe, after its introductory, it continued on with Revenge of Cobra, Arise Serpentor Arise, and stuff like that. And every time they did it, it was basically they picked it up a notch. They picked it up a notch. Even after G.I. Joe the movie, the continuation of the show, which was Despite How You Feel About It by Dick Entertainment, kind of picked it up a notch, as well as they did in the second season. Despite How You Feel About the theme song being changed to as Huey Lewis put it, or Huey Two-More put it, a song that you would hear in a toy commercial. But anyway, that, to me, and again, despite how you feel about that, those continuations with courtesy of Dick Entertainment, they still kind of picked it up a notch in some areas. And again, it's just, to me, that's why the first season of anything is usually not as good as the second season and the third season, the seasons that follow, because the first season is more introductory. That's all it is. Take a look at What's New Scooby-Doo. First season was sort of a reintroduction to who the characters were, continuing off sort of from the movies, and as the second season or so came around, it picked it up a notch. It's all about when a new season comes around, things get picked up, things become better. Take a look at Gargoyles, if you will. First season was good, no doubt about it. But when the following seasons came around, boom, they picked it up a notch. They made it even better. I know people have the differences about the Goliath Chronicles, but still, it picked it up a notch. You take a look at Reboot. First season was sort of introductory. Following seasons, things got picked up. Things were ticking up a notch. The point I'm trying to make is, when someone like me kind of sparingly watches the first season because we're not really sure about it, is because sparingly watches the first season is because it doesn't really get, catch our interest. But as soon as we watch the second season, and let's say you're watching the second season for the first time and you see Hot Dog Water, Marcy, in the intro in the place of Daphne, that's going to catch your attention. You're going to be like, whoa, what the hell? You're going to be like, huh? But as soon as things clear out, but as soon as you watch it, you're like, oh, this is why. And it gets your attention. That's why, to me, the first season, that's why the following seasons are better than the first season when it comes to shows. Because they start to grab your attention. And it's not just with the intro, it's with what you watch. It's with what is presented in front of you. Gem, if you will, is another great example. Her original theme song, and in the following seasons, it kind of went to a different kind of version of it. But the following seasons, and that grabs your attention, but as you watch the episodes, that also grabs your attention. It grabs your attention because you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. So that, again, to me, is why the first season of any show, whether it's live action or animated, is more introductory, and the second season and the seasons that follow are the kind that are going to grab your attention and really get you watching even more so, and basically have you begging for more. I mean, take a look at My Little Pony: Friendship and Magic. First season, I guess, in a way, was an introductory season. People watched it, kind of got hooked on it, but it was more introductory. But as you got into the following season, it's like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. The introductory probably was the same, but still, you watch the first episode of the next season, and it starts to grab your attention. And again, that's the same thing for any show, live action or animated. So that's why, to me, when I watched the episode of Mystery Incorporated today, it grabbed my attention because I was like, this is pretty interesting. So that's why, again, and I know it sounds like I'm rambling and repeating myself here, the following seasons are better than the first season. Now, I know some of you may disagree with that. It's okay. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Video response if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.